Bonjour, guys. Welcome back to my channel, Anish Learns to Code. And today I will discuss my experience of working as an intern at Zomato in New Delhi, India. So I was selected for a full-time job offer, software developer in Zomato on campus. So even before my university degree ended, even before I finished college, I had a job at Zomato. That was really exciting. So I was supposed to graduate in May, and the job was supposed to start in July. But before the job could start, Zomato offered to me and to all the other students that had been selected on campus a 6 month internship offer. And the 6 month internship offer was not compulsory. So I had friends who were selected in Zomato from Triple IT Delhi and from NSIT, and to them this was a non-compulsory, an optional internship offer, whether you want to do internship or not. In DTU, that was not optional. For DTU, it was compulsory. Not because Zomato made it compulsory for DTU students, because DTU was like, if you're getting an offer, you have to take it. You can't say no. And having said that, I wanted to take that offer, so it doesn't really matter. So it was a 6 month internship offer from January to June. So Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June. 6 months, correct. This we were paid a stipend of about of exactly 40,000 rupees. So 40,000 is like 500 Swiss francs for those of you sitting on the other side of the pond per month. So this is not the best stipend, but this is not bad either. So it was fine. And so I joined before the starting of Zomato. Obviously, the coronavirus pandemic is happening. There's lockdowns everywhere. They have an office in Gurgaon, but this was supposed to happen in Gurgaon in their office. We were supposed to go there and work like every other employee, but because everybody was working from home in turns, we were also supposed to work from home. So my profile in Zomato was a full stack software developer in the O2 department. So O2 is not oxygen, it is online ordering. Internally, Zomato has majorly three departments. So one department, the major department is the client side. So the client is accessing Zomato via their Android app, iOS app, or through their web interface, and they're ordering stuff from restaurants. So this is one side of Zomato. The second side of Zomato is the restaurants, which are called the merchants internally in Zomato. People who receive the orders, restaurants, uh, maybe dhabas, small chains, big chains, they're getting the orders and they deliver the food to the customers. And then the third side of Zomato is the riders, delivery riders. So they're taking the food from the restaurants and delivering the food to the customer. So these are, you can say, the three of, obviously it's a very big company. There's a lot going on, but these are the main three things happening inside the company. I was part of the merchant side. So on the restaurant side of things, I was not on the client facing side of things where the orders are coming. I was on the merchant side of things where we were receiving the orders. So on the merchant side of things, we have an Android app to get orders, and we have a web interface where restaurants, they can see the orders coming in, they can accept orders, they can reject orders, they can mark orders as delayed, whether some orders will be delayed or not, and they can even contact customers, and they can even talk to customers can specify maybe they want some special requests delivered with some orders. So I was on the restaurant side of things. On the restaurant side of things, they have front end applications. They have a Android application, which is front end application. They have an application on web, which is being used majorly. So every restaurant in India which is using Zomato, they have one website, zomato.com, for merchants open on their computer 24/7 inside the restaurant. So that whenever a new order comes, they have, even big restaurants, they have one person just sitting there accepting orders as new orders come in. So this was the app, this was the application that I was working on. So I was working on the front end website part of things. So this front end part was built in React. And before joining Zomato, I had no idea about React. I did not know React at all. But I did know Angular. So I did know web development. I was aware about what Angular is, what are components, what are web components, how do you design, how do you structure web components to build front end UI interfaces, what are elements. So I did have some idea. I was not going in completely blind, but I did not know React. So when I was added to this team, the first task that I was given was actually a very big task. So there's a feature called Insights. Insights is kind of like analytics that restaurants, they can see their analytics. How many orders are they delivering per month, per week? How many? What is their total revenue? What is their total revenue today? What is their total revenue last week compared to previous last week? What is the revenue of this restaurant this month compared with last month? So bar charts, line charts, and other kind of charts. So basically analytics. This was the section that did not exist. I had to create from scratch, add it to this front end web interface so that restaurants all across India could see analytics. Analytics was present on the Android app, but was not present on the web app, which I had to now create. So this was a very, very, very much requested, highly requested feature. Merchants all across India were like, we already have this on Android. Can you please give this to us on web as well? So this was my first task at Zomato. So I spent a lot of time, like almost a week, just learning React. So I just went on YouTube, typed in React, saw few playlists, like two, three playlists completely just to get an idea of what React is, the syntax of React, how does it work. There are some differences between React and Angular, like the major difference being Angular is built on TypeScript. React can also be, you can write React code on TypeScript as well. But inside Zomato, we were using React with JavaScript, not TypeScript. So this was like a very big difference. JavaScript is not my first primary language. I'm not an expert in JavaScript. So there were a little learning curves over there. And also React has hooks, and React has Redux, and how it is managing its state, how it is communicating internally with different components is a little different of how Angular communicates with its components. So these are like a little new things for me. So I spent about like 4 days, 5 days, almost a week just learning React, and then I implemented this task. So this implementing this task took me about 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks. But when this was delivered, people were happy because it looked good, it worked well. Obviously, there's a scope for improvement. I pointed out many things that I had done poorly. Like at the time when I implemented, this was my first task on React. I did not know React hooks. So the model that I was using to communicate data between various components was actually not based on React hooks, but we were using Redux and we were using container based models, if you know what I'm talking about. So it was not the best way to accomplish the task. There was a lot of scope for improvement. So after this task, it was always in the back burner of my mind that I made this mistake. I made this mistake. This was not done very well. This was not done very well. It worked. People were happy, but it was not the best written piece of code. So I kept on adding like little tasks on my Jira that this is something that I have to do. This is something that I have to do. And Zomato does not use Jira; they use Asana. So yeah, but they use Slack. So I'll give them that. I love Slack. When I was leaving Zomato, they actually shifted from Slack to MS Teams. And mentally inside my head, I always say this that I left Zomato because they shifted from Slack to MS Teams. Another topic for another day. So, yeah, where was I? Where was I? Yeah, we were discussing React hooks. So there was always something in the back of my mind. I kept on writing it on Asana that these are something things that I have to improve. The next task that I did at Zomato was implementing NPS. NPS, as I did not know at the time, is Net Promoter Score. So basically, just in very simple terms, it's just a rating between 1 to 10, like how much do you like our app. So whatever product you're using, you can use maybe your iPhone, your iPads, your tablets, your laptops, your TVs. Even if you're using a motorbike, your car, you rate those products. Once you have been using those products for like 4 or 5 months, you'll maybe get a survey, you'll get some link saying that please rate us from like 1 to 10. What did you like, what did you not like? So everybody likes to collect these ratings so that they have an idea that why are people liking us, why are people not liking us, what are the things that people like about us, what are the things that people do not like about us. So this rating is called NPS, Net Promoter Score. And we had to implement, me and another person, we were pair programming on this task, had to implement a structure to collect NPS from restaurant partners, from merchants, so that we as Zomato can know, okay, what do the merchants, restaurant partners like, and what do they do not like, what do they not like. So this was another task that was implemented, and this obviously being my second task was done in a much better manner. We used React hooks. We used uh, nicely written, well-written components, good structures. This was accomplished in less time, like less than 2 weeks. This was a well-done task. After this task was done, I reverted back to my roots. I went back to Insights, my first task at Zomato, and I said now I will work on Insights version number 2, because when I did it the first time, it was not done very well. Some things are left, so I'll just like improve on those little things. I migrated the entire Insights application from container to hooks, so that was a very big migration. And components were also updated. Many different updations happened, and overall, I think it improved. Now another twist comes in. I had applied to CERN as a junior fellow along while I was working at Zomato. I had applied to many places, not just CERN. We all keep on applying. Just thoughtful, wishful thinking, I did get back an interview offer from CERN. I interviewed and I eventually was selected as a junior fellow at CERN. So this was a very big dilemma for me, whether I should continue working at Zomato or if I should leave Zomato and go to CERN, which is in Geneva, Switzerland. I had previously worked at CERN, so I already know the reason. I've already lived in Geneva. I know what that region is like, what are the people like. I had already worked at CERN, so I knew what CERN was like, what is the job approximately going to be like. The department that I got selected in was the department that I had previously worked in. So I already knew my supervisor. I already knew the people as well. So I kind of, but I also know Zomato. So I kind of knew both places. Both places had their advantages, disadvantages. I actually lost my sleep when I got selected at CERN. Like I never thought this would happen, being selected at CERN, and I'm now unable to sleep. But that did happen for 2 3 days. It was a very big dilemma actually for me that which one I should choose. I talked to many different people. I talked to my boss at Zomato. I even talked to my boss at CERN about what I should do, and I made many pros and cons list. Eventually, I decided to work at CERN. So I handed in my resignation letter at Zomato in the fifth month of my internship. I did not go work even in the sixth month of my internship. Having said that, I have now joined CERN, and I'm happy with my decision, like whatever decision I've taken. Having said that, Zomato was an exceptional place to work. I really enjoyed what I was doing. I was working on cutting edge technologies. It was very fast paced. We were delivering things every day. And the stuff that we were delivering, millions of people across India, maybe millions of people across the world were actually using that. And we were receiving a lot of feedback. We were implementing it. So it was very fast paced. It was very fresh. And I really enjoyed that. So just because I took CERN or left does not should not reflect negatively on anything. And yeah, CERN is also CERN is CERN. I will not say anything about that. That needs no introduction. That does not need a lot of explaining. So yeah, this was my overall experience of working as Zomato as an intern. I did learn a lot. I got a MacBook Pro 13-inch with M1, so that was like the I was like the first one in a 10-kilometer radius here in India to have an M1 machine. Nobody else had an M1 machine. Wherever I took it, people were like, "Oh, is that the M1 new Apple M1?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, it is." So that was very exciting. Everybody used to come and have a look at my laptop. It's exactly the same. There's no difference. Obviously, M1 is inside, but yeah, so I had to return that laptop. That was a very sad thing for me. But yeah, overall, that is my experience of working as an intern at Zomato. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you could learn something from that. If you could, please leave it down in the comments what you learned. I learned something from that. Thank you very much for listening me rant. I rant a lot. Bye. See you next time.